but we have a group of our class with us right now, class of 2022 seniors at Velma Jackson, and we're recording this for our senior class here. So this would be seen also in Coach Drain's class, and we're also putting this on our YouTube channel. So we appreciate you so much for joining us. Now, I know we talked briefly, but the class of 2016 at Velma Jackson was just a class unlike any other.
Definitely the best.
Absolutely. You get no argument from me, and I think a lot of teachers that are still here would agree with that statement. But we have these seniors here that are graduating in just a few weeks, or not a few, about 10 weeks. I guess a few months would be better. But you did the junior college route. You went to Pearl River Community College, and then you were a Wildcat after that at Bethel University in McKenzie, Tennessee. And then that took you to Armenia. So before we get into all the cool stuff you've done in Armenia, which I can't wait to hear about, take us through your experience coming out of Velma Jackson, then as a junior college student, and then a college student, and that transition and all of that stuff as you progress through your college career.
Well, first off, I decided to take the junior college route because, campus. So, I'm used to, small settings, small classrooms, and I just thought that would be better for me. And Pearl River, it was a spot because one, the girls that were also committing there, I knew, so I kind of felt comfortable, and a couple of them I played AAU with, so that made things better, by us, we played before, I know you, and then it wasn't too far from home. But just transitioning from high school to college, it was a big transition for me. One, because you have more freedom. Nobody is telling you, hey, you got to go to class. Hey, you got to get up. That is where maturity kicks in. That's where responsibility kicks in. That's where self-accountability kicks in. All that in one. And learning and growing and just being able to, share that opportunity with others because you learn from others just as well as others learn from you. And playing basketball, it makes us family. So the transition for me, like I said, was kind of hard, but my teammates definitely made it easier with showing me the true meaning of sisterhood. And then especially on the court, it clicked. And I can say that college is where you meet your lifetime friends. But overall, my experience at Pearl River, definitely one of the best. On the basketball.
Yeah, and my dad's actually an alumni of Pearl River as well, because he played football there and went on to become a surgeon. But my family's actually from Pearl River County, so I'm very familiar with Poplarville.
Yes, it's nice. The people there are so family oriented, and I'm big on that. Of course, coming from a family of 8, the family, the vibe is very family oriented, and I love that about them. I love that about Pearl River. But leaving there and transitioning to Bethel, it was a huge difference because one, that's junior college and you're transitioning to a university. And then not only that, I'm also going further away from home. Now at Bethel, at Pearl River, I came home every weekend. I'm a freshman, I'm a sophomore, I miss my mother, I miss my siblings. So, I'm going to come home and see them. But as I transitioned from being 2 hours away to 4.5 hours away, that began to get hard because one, basketball, you're on another level. You're from high school to junior college to those are different levels. So you're on a level. Basketball becomes even more serious. So I wasn't able to go home as much. I wasn't able to see my family as much. So I began to get homesick. I know my junior year at Bethel, I definitely got homesick. I cried, and I was I called my mom and I cried, and I was I miss you guys. I can't. I mean, of course, and in basketball, it can get overwhelming because going into new scenery, I have to get adjusted. I have to get adjusted to the coaches. I have to get adjusted to the players. But mainly at Bethel, what really helped me was just focusing in. I'm not gonna lie to you, Coach Feige. At first, I hated working out. Coach Brown, you have to, you do the work you put in off the court, that. And when they say that, at first, of course, I'm whatever. But when they say that, as you continue to grow, especially with sports, you see that. And now I can say yeah, it's younger kids that I tell that when nobody's looking, work, you have to put the work in, and that paid off, especially at Bethel. Of course, I got my first ring. I'm a All-American, and me just being away from home and being by myself, I learned that, hey, it's time to, yeah, you got to put the work in. You got to put the work in. You got to, keep myself motivated, because me being homesick, I got down. And it showed in basketball, and my coaches noticed it. But once again, with sports comes, whether it's men and women, brotherhood, sisterhood, and like that helped me a whole.
Yeah, and I know Coach Brown. She's at Madison Central now, but she was a slave driver as a tough coach. But even leaving high school, playing junior college and then college basketball, and we'll get to pro later. But it's not like high school. You can just show up to practice when you want to. You can't skip class the next day because you're tired. And those JUCO road trips are long. If you're in Poplarville, you got to go to Senatobia or Clarksdale. Those are long road trips, even in Mississippi, and then in the NAI as well. You got some long road trips. You got to be at class the next day. So how is the time management skills learned on the academic side when you're an athlete?
One, of course, the coaches, they're going to be like, study hard. They're going to push you. But for me, that's where, like I said, that's where maturity kick in, because if you don't do it in college, it's not no, hey, if you don't do it, okay, you got the chance. If you don't do it, somebody else in your spot. Like, it's you finna get this right, or you go home. We're not finna beg, we're not finna plead. And that's where responsibility kicks in, self-accountability. Like, especially in college, money management is big. And I had to learn that as well. So I would say, Coach Mike, it's either put up or shut up in college, honestly.
Yeah, and that wouldn't just be for an athlete. Even if you just want to go be a student, there's not people standing over you that are making you get up and go to class. And even on a junior college level, a lot of the scholarships are only 2 years. If you are still messing around, you're going to start paying for college, and it's going to get you behind. And then that's when you start having expenses.
So easy. It is so easy, because people be like, oh, such and such is the party school. This is a party school. But in college, period, it is so easy to just be like, okay, I ain't going to class. I don't have to get up, or, I'm doing this. Like, that self-responsibility, it kicks in, and college helps that.
Now, I also want to hear about, Pearl River is not an all-black school. So you come from an all-black high school. How was that adjustment going to Pearl River in the Bethel, where you were not where you were a minority? How was that an adjustment coming from an all-black school to going to two non-all-black schools?
Now coming from Velma Jackson going to Pearl River, like, I experienced racism. Like, as far as, like, of course, with basketball, they call you names and stuff like that. It was tough, because, like, especially, like, when people feel like athletes get special treatment. But I mean, I would say sometimes, but like majority of the times, no. Like, we have to work. Like, special treatment, us getting out of class early because we got games, but but like, we work just as hard as everyone else. And that, and racism, people nowadays, they don't think like what you really say can really, affect people. And it might not be like much. Like, I know, like, walking into gyms, especially on away games, like, they say slurs. Like, I know one time one team we played, they had signs. But at Pearl River, it wasn't as worse as it was at Bethel, because at Bethel we travel more. I experienced the world more. So, like, when I got to Bethel, I had to realize, like, Tyasia, okay, well, this is the next level. It's bigger. Like, one game we played, it was a rival game, and like, we were kicking butt. And they, like, the audience, like, some gentlemen and ladies, they got put out because of what they were saying. And coming into the game as well, there were huddles. You walking down the huddle, and like, popcorn, it was before we were walking, but popcorn was thrown. And like, again, slurs were made. But that's where you gotta, you just gotta have tough skin.
And then and also at the same time, having to work and be in the same team with people unlike anybody you've grown up with. I mean, obviously, and it's probably an adjustment. It could have been an adjustment for them as well, but you got to learn to work together to be successful. I mean, that's, in sports or in academics or in the business world. Now tell me this also: how did Velma Jackson help prepare you to get to be successful at Pearl River and at Bethel?
Leadership. Like, because I feel like, one, Velma Jackson is very family oriented. I love it. small, but we're gonna stick together. We're very family oriented. But leadership, and when I say that, not just on the basketball team, and with Coach Brown, I had to learn leadership early hand on, and like Coach Wells, he was big on leadership, and he's an amazing teacher, by the way. And how he taught, and how he told us about the different aspects of where we would need leadership, as far as like with me, for example, for me being the captain on the team, from in the classroom to the court between him and Coach Brown, like that. Those two really instilled leadership in me, because like even though my bad days, at the end of the day, like Taiji, you have to keep going. Your son's watching you. You have a little girl want to be like, I'm looking at you. I would like, you're my role model, this, and the third. So like, I would really say Velma Jackson helped me as far as leadership. And with college, and when I got to college, it became big as well, because at Pearl River won, I'm captain again. So like, with that comes title. And with leading, not just, on the basketball court, because in the classroom as well at Bethel, I'm a Christian, fellow Christian athlete. I was the choice of the choice of character on the team for Bethel. So like, it's not just basketball that I'm helping, in other aspects as well. And then when people are looking up to you, that makes me proud, for one. And then like, just knowing that I'm able to help someone else, it makes my day.
Yeah, and before we start talking about Armenia, I mean, again, we got to talk about that class of 2016, because not just you, Jessica Joe, Victoria Kelly, Mateo Beeman, Wallace Vaughns, Corey Baker. I mean, the list goes on, and just so many successful students, but y'all really pushed each other in the classroom. And I mean, I've been teaching 9 years, and that's from top to bottom, the most competitive academic class I've ever seen. So how did that pay off to make you a better student and a better leader as you got to college?
Like you said, when we were close, and like, I think that started off is like, from coming in 9th grade all the way up to our senior year, like we did things together outside of school. Like we had picnic parties, you know what I'm saying? And in those, like we just bonded. And like, with coming from a small atmosphere, it like you got each other's back. And then like I said, that played a part out of it. Like coming from, a family, a class like that family, I would like to go into that with college. And I did just that. Like, that helped me as well, transitioning into college, like just being family oriented.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, again, we got to know about this Armenia. You're the only person I have ever met in my entire life that I know has been to Armenia. So for the people that don't know, can you tell us where Armenia is, and about how small it is as well? Because it's about the size of Metro Los Angeles, but it is on the other side of the world.
It's like the coastline of Europe and Asia. It took me a minute, because I was like, hey, because I know one point I was like, me and a longtime friend of mine, Raheem Franklin, we played at Pearl River together. We were signed to go to Armenia together. So like, when we found out, I'm like, okay, where is it? I was like, it's in Europe. She was like, no, it's in Asia. So like, I really like the borderline of Europe and Asia, but that was really an experience. I loved it over there.
Yeah. So tell us about the Armenian experience, because I know you had some amazing pictures that I've seen about the architecture and the way the way the downtown area was set up. And if you have some pictures to show, we'd love to see them if you're able.
Let me see.
Yeah, because I would love to see some of that stuff, and I think the kids would. It's not every. I don't know anybody, like I said, especially from Camden. I don't know anybody that's ever been to Armenia, and except for you. And I think that's super cool.
Screen on here, Coach.
Let me see if I can make sure you can. Yeah, I have share screen on if you need to. It should allow you to.
How can I get to it?
We're on the where it says the arrow on the bottom.
Mm-hmm. I don't see it. Wait a minute. No, I don't. Wait a minute. You said the arrow at the bottom where it says more?
The bottom should allow you to share your screen.
Say that again.
The arrow on the bottom should allow you to share your screen.
In the right hand corner or left hand corner?
There's an arrow that says share screen.
Okay, I don't see that on my end.
Hold on.
It allows me to leave. I have the option to leave at the top, and then at the bottom where it says more. It says chat, meeting settings, minimize meeting background filters, and then it's talking about audio. And then it has the option to stop the video at the bottom.
I have it set where you can share. I don't know why it's not letting you.
Let me see.
I see it, but I don't hear you. Yep, I see you. I see you, and I saw your screen. I saw the airplane and everything, but I don't hear you. That's just the weird part. Wow. Now that is a cool airplane. Wow. Wow. Oh, wow. Wow. I need that car in my life, let me tell you. Driving on the left side of the road. Steering wheel's on the right side. Golly, that's weird. Wow. 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 What a view. Wow. The mountains in the background look awesome. Wow.
Did it allow you?
That was awesome. Yeah, we saw all of it.
I kept going so that you could see anyway. I know that I couldn't see you
That's
guys.
fine. That was really cool. I mean, just the architecture and the view. And now I do have some questions from the students I want to get to, but you know, for everybody that thinks that being a professional athlete is some easy job, please let us know that it is not. I mean, luckily you're not doing the 8-hour flights like they do in the NBA and NFL and stuff, but you're still having to practice every day. And
Yes.
yeah, if
Not
you
to
can't do right, if you can't do right, you're out of a job. So take us through a schedule of a professional athlete before I get to these students' questions.
Well, like you said, yeah, we do have practice every day, and sometimes 2 a day, like at 6 a.m. and then I'll come back at maybe at 6 a.m. and then come back either at 6 or at 7 again that evening. And then like being overseas, we also have 3-on-3 tournaments as well. So like on the days that we don't have a game, I will be playing in like a 3-on-3 tournament, and we'll leave. I'll leave the house probably maybe at like 12 that evening, and then I'll be back probably at like maybe 6 or 7, because we have constant, it's like a tournament like all day. But no, it is not easy. And then being overseas, of course, the language barrier. There has to be a translator, but it's only so much that the translator understands. But you definitely have to get adjusted to the language barrier, and of course the time, like, because when I first got over there, I was up. I mean, like up. When it's day over here, it's night over there. So like when I made it, I'm going to bed at like 7 a.m. I'm going to bed at like 8:30. And I really get to the time.
Yeah, it's tough. But yeah, that was just, some amazing pictures and videos. And I just think it's really cool to get to experience a different culture like that. And
Yeah.
be able to do what you love in another country. It had to be an amazing experience. But I do have a few questions from the students here. The first one is from Carson Day. He's going to Northeast Mississippi Community College to play football. And he asked, were the differences in the levels were the difference in the let me word this correct. I'm sorry. Were the differences in the different levels of play noticeable as you progressed throughout your career?
Of course. Going from high school to Pearl River, girls were a little bit more tough. But I would say that because like coming from where we coming in, like I went to college with like girls that went to 6A, 7A, but that don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. They got the same 24 you do now. And in some aspects now, I do know like this one girl, and I'll give it to her. She was a phenomenal player. I forgot her name. She went to Jones. But we play AU together. But like you're gonna see more talent as you move up on each level. And transitioning from Pearl River to Bethel, like we would have went to like nationals, but like in our conference, you see lots of talent everywhere. So yeah, the once you go up on the within the level of from high school to college, you see more talent.
Yeah, and that would be not only in any sport, but in any industry. You have to, the old saying is perform at a level that forces them to keep you there. Anytime something is competitive, whether you're in sports or not, you're going to have to show them a reason for them to keep you around. Now, we love the video of the old woman messing with your hair.
Okay, so I had crochets. I try to keep protective styles because I hate doing my own hair. But I had crochets, and I was inside. I was doing a money exchange, and I had just got out of practice. So I had on my uniform, and like they speak. The language was not hard to understand, but she was trying to say hello, and she just kept saying A, like the letter A instead of hey. She was like A, but I mean I understood what she was trying to say, and she was just like hair. And she was very fascinated by it because they never seen anything like it. But she was a really nice older woman.
Yeah, but that leads me to this next question. This is from Kendrick Lindsay, and he said, "What was the biggest cultural differences that you dealt with while you were over there?"
Food.
Ooh, I didn't think about that.
I love food. I love food. I love to try new things. I'm open to try new things. Like I was in this one store, and of course, here in the U.S., my grandfather's a fisherman, so I like fish. She told me, she was like, do you want to buy this, like a whole stingray? I've never in my life seen like a whole stingray. And she had it wrapped up and she tried to sell it. Like they had eels and
I love eel. That's good stuff.
Never had eel, and then like it was this type of rice with lamb meat. Like I eat lamb, but the type of rice and like the type of sauces that they had, I had to get adjusted to the food over there, but definitely food.
I could definitely see that. But, the key is always don't ask what's in it, because if you like it, you might not want to know.
See, but I be wanting to know. I tried the first time over there though, and was it squid?
Hey, we have squid here. It's good stuff.
But I was like, yeah, I think that was it for me. But like food, definitely food.
Now you did talk a little bit about the language barrier, but Corlin Murray asked, was it difficult to communicate?
Okay, so me and my friends, we was trying to actually learn the language. Like Io means yes, Jew means no. And like we just learned mercy means thank you. Like because we had to tell the cab drivers and stuff, but Google Translate was my best friend.
Me and Coach was talking about that. That's a great app.
Yeah, but like some things like what was it? We stayed at a hotel and I wanted to order some fries. And I'm like, fries. And she was like, oh, chips. I'm like, no, like fries, like, chips. And I had to learn that. But like it was harder trying to learn it on my own. The Google Translate. But some of my teammates also told me that learning English is way harder than trying to learn anything.
Absolutely correct. Every immigrant I've ever met has told me the same thing.
Yes, they said because of course we tried to teach them words, phrases, and a couple of them were still in school and in college, because like, I know one girl on the team, she was like 16, 17.
Wow. Yeah,
but
Europe,
and they were trying to learn English, and that's all they said was that English was definitely one of the hardest language to learn.
Absolutely. Now this is Janisa White, and she asked, what is the most challenging part of being away from home?
My babies, my siblings. I miss being away from home. I'm sorry, I'm still knowing my words. Being away from home, at first when I went to Bethel and experienced being homesick, that really helped me for when I got overseas. So it wasn't hard because one, like this is something that I always wanted to do. Like I miss my family, no doubt I did. But like just being able to see new things and like the encouragement and support that I had from them back home, that helped me. But of course, basketball took my mind off it, and just I had to constantly tell myself, I was like, wow, you're actually in another country. Like, you're not down the road, you're not 4 hours away, you're across the world. Like, that was just so surreal to me.
Yeah, and we had one of my former students from Raymond last week who's in the Caribbean right now. And she said, she has the same kind of shock, but she said, one thing you have to realize coming from Mississippi, it's okay to make the big move. The risk, being willing to take the risk can usually pay off big dividends. So you take a huge risk, and that's an experience nobody's ever going to be able to take from you.
Definitely.
Now, what is your next? We're almost out of time, but I would love to know, what is your next step for next season? Are you going back there? Or are you going to play with another team, or what?
I plan on playing with another team. Portland. Hopefully that's my next stop. That's where I'm trying to get it next. But Portland and also Finland. Those two places. Those one of the two may be my next stop. I'm not for sure just yet, but I do know for a fact that I'm only just beginning.
Yeah. Now Finland would be a lot colder.
Definitely.
It's a beautiful country, but it is extremely cold. And you would probably be the only Black person within 1,000 miles of where you are. But
really?
They're great sports fans up there. That's really cool. But before we go, again, and thank you so much for joining us. Really cool pictures. And and we're so proud to call you an alumni. We're so proud to call you a part of this community, and you're just doing so much for the community and for your family. And it's just so great to see. But everybody that's watching with us now, going to watch later, we're Velma Jackson students, just like you were. But you've done you've gone across the world and put the Velma Jackson footprint all the way in Armenia, and going to put it hopefully in all over the country and all over Europe again. So even if they're not going to be athletes, what can they do to follow in the same footsteps of people that have come from the same school, walking these same halls with the same teachers, to be just as successful as you and the other people in your class?
I would definitely tell them to, one, keep God first. No matter what, keep God first. I had to learn myself that God gives us, those are tests. So what we go through in life are just tests, they're lessons. You're going to learn something. No matter how hard you think that what you're going through is terrible, keep God first. And second, always, always, always stay true to yourself and believe in yourself. No one has your back like you. No one can push you like you. If you do those two things, it's nothing in this world that you cannot achieve. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I always say your situation doesn't change until you change it. And it's not that you were in a bad situation, but you definitely did something about what you had going on and made a great, already making a great name for yourself. It's just incredibly inspiring. And like I said, we're just so proud to call you an alumni of Velma Jackson. It's just not a long line of kids that have gone through here and done some great things. And everything you get, you deserve.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And again, thank you so much for joining us. Again, all the seniors are going to see this, so we really thank you for keeping to be encouragement. We're definitely going to do this again and see your next adventure.
Most definitely. Thank you guys. I appreciate it all.
You're very welcome. I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Thank you.
See ya.